Today I'm going to do a care video on crested geckos. So this little guy is a crested gecko, come from a place called New Caledonia in the wild. This guy's obviously captive bred. Such a cool little gecko. They are a common gecko to keep, such an easy species and great beginner species for anybody that wants a gecko. You see what he's doing there with his tongue? He's licking his eyes, he's cleaning his eyes. So these guys don't have any eyelids, so they clean their eyes with their tongue. They are arboreal and they do jump. They live in the treetops in the wild, high up, and obviously to get from one place to another, they jump, just like that. So to keep one of these, personally I recommend a 45 by 45 by 60 centimetre tall terrarium, which is 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot by 2 foot. You can go bigger, which is obviously better when they get a little bit older, but 45 by 45 by 60 tall will be adequate for one of these. I've got a breeding group of crested geckos and I have them in a 45 by 45 by 90 tall, which gives me that little bit more height. And the good thing about these is, in your terrarium, you could do something called a paludarium, which I'll hopefully do a video on in the future, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Personally, I would do a bioactive setup. So what that is you have clay balls on the bottom, then you have a filter wool or a mesh that divides the substrate from the clay, and when you're watering, the water fills up at the bottom and it doesn't drown out the substrate, which in turn will kill your plants. So, but what you can do is you can plant live plants in there. Add springtails, tropical wood lice. Cresty's gone. The Cresty's back with me now. He jumped onto the arm of the sofa. Don't worry everybody, he's absolutely fine. This is what they do. They are a very hardy gecko. Obviously you wouldn't want to drop them from height, but normally when they go to jump, they look at something, focus on it, and then their back legs come forward and they jump sort of like a frog. With the bioactive terrarium, what you will need is a UV light and maybe a jungle dawn. Definitely a UV light, it'll benefit the gecko and also it'll grow the plants. These are a nocturnal species, so they don't really come out during the day. However, it will benefit the gecko, the UV. It'll provide a vitamin D3. Way caught in that time. This one is an adult, so as you can see, she's probably around about 7 or 8 inches long from nose to tail, and she is a lot more calmer. As they get older, they don't tend to jump as much. They tend to walk around. I think this is to do with getting used to being handled by people, and also they get a little bit lazier. There she goes, she's walking. So I think we've covered most of the things, but we haven't covered food. When they're younger, a variety of bugs, so crickets, locusts, waxworms, mealworms, live bugs. However, I tend to stay away from locusts because they will eat your plants. So crickets is my go-to for crested geckos, or mealworms in a dish. They also eat a powder mix, just like this. So this is fruit and grub by Blue River Diet. So this is the one I use personally. There is lots and lots of different ones on the market. There's Pangea, but it can be pretty hard to get hold of, and there is loads of different flavours as well. Crested geckos can lose their tails. Normally it's to do with stress or fighting over food. It's not a massive issue, it just makes them look a little bit different, and it will not grow back on these, unlike a leopard gecko. Well, it will grow back. They generally sit at room temperatures, so you don't want to be above 26 degrees for a long period of time really. I've had these, keeping these personally, I've had them go down to sort of 15, 16 degrees for short periods, but ideally you want to keep them around about room temperature, which is around about 20. So, and you want a gradient really, so which it will be. So you want a gradient between sort of 20 and 25, 26. Up where your light side is going to be the warmest. So when you've got UV light on there, it's probably going to sit about 27, 28, maybe even 29. So you'll probably find that they won't go right up to that. If they do go up to that, it normally means they're probably a little bit too cold. They are great climbers and they'll stick to any surface, pretty much. So I actually lost one of these in my house, a baby one that hatched out, and I found it about 2 months later, and it was on my bedroom ceiling. So they are very hardy, very, very hardy. You can have females living together. So these are 3 females, these, and obviously you can have a male in with them, but they will breed. So I wouldn't suggest it unless you are really prepared for breeding. You cannot have males together though. Males will fight, and they'll fight to the death. So if you're going to keep any together, if you're going to keep females together, just obviously keep an eye on them. There normally is a bit of a pecking order in most species of animals. There is one dominant animal, and that pecking order soon gets established, and generally they get on pretty fine. It's normally fighting over food, to be honest with you. So with your diets, what you want to do is you want to mix very small amounts. What I've found over the years is you waste a lot of this. So if you mix small amounts into a pot, and then you can gauge how much they've eaten off that over how many days. And you want to change it every 2 or 3 days, I'd say. This one is a really good one, fruit and bug. And the reason it's good is because some people are squeamish of the bugs that they have to feed to the geckos. So the beauty of this is it's got the bugs in it. It also has calcium and vitamins in it, and it is a complete diet, so complete feed for crested geckos. There is other geckos that will eat this though, stuff like gargoyle geckos, mossy geckos, chameleon geckos, which I'll probably go on about in future videos. One thing to remember is the lifespan of a gecko. So you're looking at around about 10 years, 10, 12 years. So you've got to be prepared for that if you're going to get one. It's a big commitment. I think I've covered most things in this video. Obviously it's a basic care video, so I just want to cover a few things, and then it gives you a bit of an idea if that's the sort of animal that you're looking for. And if you come and talk to me, I can advise you even more and show you in person. So what I've found is reading something is quite hard to take on that information. You maybe take on 10, 20% of that information. If you're watching something, you take on a lot more, and if you speak to someone in person, you take on even more. So it can be a little bit overwhelming, and it may take a few trips or a lot of research to get all that information. But like anything, I'm always learning. I learn still now, so there is always something to learn. So hopefully, guys, that has helped you deciding whether or not a crested gecko is for you. And for now, I will say bye bye bye.